Hi class, we researched what it takes to make a marriage last. My group included Morgan Source, Kaylee Wolver, and Catherine Corey. The millennial generation is used to hearing how marriage rates have been on a decline. Divorce rates are high and many people are simply choosing not to marry. There are many reasons as to why people don't stay together, so we decided to look into what it takes to make a marriage last. We decided to interview singles, newlyweds, and married couples to see what they say about what it takes to make a marriage work. According to singles, the new data from the PEW Research Center found that 53% of those adults who have never married still plan to, and an additional 32% are considering it. 62% of men say finding a partner who shared similar ideas about having and raising children was the most desirable trait in a future spouse, whereas 78% of women said finding a partner with a steady job was the most important. Next is newlyweds. According to AVVO, the most common trait in a successful marriage is a college education. On average, there are the chances a person will still be married in 20 years based on education level. People who attend college also tend to marry later in life and have a higher income, which further increases the odds of a successful marriage. So, for the most percent, 20% end within 5 years, 32% of marriages end within 10 years, 40% of marriages end within 15, and 48% end within 20 years. When asked about what it takes to make a marriage last, we discovered a lot of advice. According to Dawn, who has been married to Tony for 32 years, they say that always finding things to laugh about, laugh together. Times are tough, tragedy happens in all families, and things will go wrong. But if you find things to laugh about, then you'll form a special bond and it can overcome anything. Next was Dave and Rose, who have been married for 32 years. They said that each person should seek to do good for the other person instead of fighting over, what about me? Then the experience is one where each person is giving and serving the other, a win-win solution. And lastly is Nancy, who has been married to Don for 16 years. What is the most important thing for a long-term marriage is knowing yourself before you marry. Next is some footage of our YouTube video.
Okay, what do you think it takes to make a marriage last?
I think Jesus and lots of prayer together.
I think to make a lasting marriage, it takes open and honest communication.
I think it takes for a lasting marriage.
Well, I think communication is key. Talk about the little things, the big things, all things.
What do you think it takes to make a marriage last?
Communication, for sure.
What do you think it takes to make a marriage last?
I think it takes commitment, definitely Jesus, definitely a lot of hard work, regardless of what happens.
So, how long have you been married?
I've been married 6 months.
Okay, and how long did you guys date for?
4 years. Wow. But we knew each other a little bit longer. We were friends for a long time.
Okay.
So that really helped.
Very cool. And what is something that you have learned so far in marriage?
It's really hard, but it really has shown me just how much grace you need to have for yourself and for the other person as well. And if Christ is not at the forefront of your mind while you're doing pretty much just anything, you're going to be doing things out of selfish reasons, and it really will not work at all. That's the biggest thing I've been learning. Being very refined through that.
Definitely. Going into marriage, what did you think was important to make a marriage last? What was your mindset before marriage, and how has it changed?
Before, actually right around the time, so when we had started dating, we knew that it was something that okay, if we're going to date, this is very intentional. And right around that time, we were starting to talk more about future and really commitment stuff. My parents had separated, and so I was really learning through the importance of what marriage is and what that commitment is, and not just like a regular commitment, it's just a covenant, and that it was a lot bigger than I had understood. And the weight of it is that we have that gift, and it's not ours to begin with. And so that it kind of wanted me to be a part of it even more, and it kind of scared me, like, oh my gosh, this is a huge deal. But I think God used that to kind of show what he meant for marriage, and that it really was for him, and to glorify his name through the marriage. So.
What do you think makes a healthy marriage, or what do you think makes a marriage last?
Well, I think to have a foundation of faith is just so important, where we're both on the same page. So we're kind of pulling together in our relationship with Christ, and not in like a weird, Christian quote answer, but our faith has been foundational, especially through the really difficult times as we've gone through the challenges with our daughter, and being able to pray and having people pray for us when we can't pray. And through the most difficult times, to have a church that rallies around you, I can't imagine going through those times without God. Within our marriage, I've come to realize that there's no guarantees. Just because I marry a person in a certain place and I think everything's good, we've come to the conclusion that marriage is just a lot of hard work. It's something I always have to work at, just like any relationship. Try to keep the humor going, and enjoy life, and just be grateful for what we have.
Awesome.
All right, so here are some of our resources we used, and that is it. Thanks for watching.